now call the meeting in order. Can I get a roll call?
Member Girardi?
Here.
Member Jarrell? Member Espericueta? Vice President Irvin? President Cornett?
Here.
Item 2, members of the audience may at this time address the Board of Education regarding only matters on the closed session and study session agendas. Are there any members of the public who wish to address the Board of Education? Not seeing any, we'll go right into our study session on Facilities Bond and Redevelopment Projects, OE-12.13.
Good afternoon, Board. You might recall we were here in December presenting during a study session all the possibilities of modernizations and projects and whatnot. And the board asked us to bring back some more specifics on the modernizations. And Julie's the executive director of facilities. She's really put together a very nice presentation of all the different modernizations and then what we're looking for our first tranche of money from the $465 million bond. So she's going to take you through quite a bit here, but it's a very well thought out presentation. So take it away, Julie.
Thank you, Jeff. If you don't mind, I'm going to walk around, but Will's threatened me that I have to use a mic. So I'm going to have to juggle these somehow on that. So, of course, we start off with our picture here of our Desert Learning Academy, our 500 building that we opened with our esports in there, which we did. Our overview and next phase. So one of the things we were going to start off with, just a quick little update on our existing projects and our projects that are in design or getting ready to bid. And then I need to just give you an idea about what DSA has put together on its IREB4 for modernizations of existing buildings, some of the constraints with those that go with it. We're going to talk about Desert Springs Middle School. We'll talk about Mount San Jacinto High School. We'll talk about Vista Del Monte, and then we'll talk about Cielo Vista. But as we get started, our projects in construction right now, our first one we have listed is Della Lindley. We're hoping for completion this summer. We're currently working on the 2-story portables, rehabbing all of those. We've got quite a bit going on with the school. There's a lot of cleanup's going to go once those temporary portables happen. So we're saying maybe summer, that one might fall into fall a little bit. Our James Workman modernization, we are looking at winter of 27. We currently are moving into the 400 building over just right after spring break. And then we'll start working on the 500 wing, multi-purpose room and kitchens. Sunny Sands Elementary modernization, we've moved into the 2-story building. There's about 23 classrooms in the 2-story building. And we're completing the construction of the admin, library, new kindergartens, and a couple other classrooms there. We're looking to move into the other buildings this summer. And then we'll have some completion time necessary for the multi-purpose room kitchen area. Lando Elementary, literally mirroring the same schedule with it, same buildings on there. Cathedral City High School, we're working on the phase 2. We're looking at completing summer 28. Remember, that's the big one where we had the central plant. We did all the new air conditioning in the classrooms, bringing those in. We're rehabbing each of the classrooms in phases on that. And then the phase 3, which we're saying winter of 23, we haven't bid that scope of work yet. That's the gym, new food service, some shade, shelters and things like that that we'll need to do. Our projects that are bidding are in design. Bubbling Wells right now, we've been working on design on that for about 2.5, almost 3 years. We are in fact, tonight, there'll be our preliminary services with Tilden Coyle contractors to start our bidding process on that. And what's a fun fact is Tilden Coyle was the original contractor that built Bubbling Wells. So they've been around a long time. 333 South Farrell building, we're doing some interior renovations. We'll see a few pictures on that in a minute. Ed Service, our Expanded Learning Opportunity Warehouse, same thing. We've got a few pictures on that. That one also has the preliminary services on the board agenda tonight. We're looking to start bidding here next month and work on that hopefully May. Maybe jump to June, just depends on it. Our Desert Hot Springs High School Athletic Trainer Auxiliary Field Gym, there were a lot of words added to that. We're still in design on it. It's just, we haven't actually finished the scope, and we still need to bring that scope to you, and we'll make some decisions on what will actually happen there. We know what the principal would like to see happen, but we also know we need to come back and look and see what our constraints are there. Our Desert Hot Springs Parent Engagement Center over at Winslow, we have already started moving a couple of the larger 1,400 square foot classrooms that came off Sunny Sands and Landau over there. We're working with DSA right now to get those buildings approved. And we're also bringing 3 others over, so we'll have a whole nice wing in the back for the Family Engagement Center at Desert Hot Springs, which we don't have right now. We've got a couple small classrooms over there, but this will give, it's right at the end of the walkway as you walk into the quad of Winslow. So it just really will be nice looking down at the end of that quad and seeing the Family Engagement Center there. And then our Mount San Jacinto high portables, again, we have some classrooms from Landau that we're going to be taking over there. They've asked for some new classroom additions, so we're working on that. We're working on getting our architect contract and getting that scheduled. So just really quick on Farrell, I know, I'm sorry, go ahead.
I'm sorry. On the Family Engagement Center, being inside of Edward Winslow, is that a barrier to parents going in there?
We don't think so. Right now, the way it operates, they do come inside Winslow and then go out to the existing classroom buildings that are on the far west side. So it'll actually be a much quicker walk. It allows us to know who's on campus.
Interesting, I thought may possibly if it had a more exterior face, it'd be easier for parents to get in there.
You know, we worked with the past administrator on locating that, and actually Simone was with us that day as well. And we looked all over the site, and it actually seemed where we're placing it right now to be the best location.
Yeah, I could comment a little bit on that as well. When we reviewed that, it seemed like it was very conducive for events because there was a nice concrete area, also near the where they do the child is an ECE program there. Yeah. So there's some areas where the families kids can play and so forth. Like I said, there's a large concrete area right there. It's very well shaded, and where they are currently, it's very sunny. And just all blacktop and not a whole lot of color, and as far as trees and stuff.
It's not as inviting.
It was just a much more inviting place right there. But to your point, they do have to go on campus. But to Julie's point, they have to do that anyway because everything's behind the fence already. So
if
unless they're having an event, but they can open, if they're having a night event, they can open up the campus and have them go to that anyway. It seemed like just a lot more inviting area anyway.
I have a question about Cathedral City High School. In any of the phases 1, 2, or 3, is the cafeteria and an area for our scholars to eat? What phase is that in?
In phase 3.
Phase 3.
Yes. That's expanding the kitchen area, eating area, and then a large lunch shelter.
Okay, thank you.
When we think about a family engagement center and we think about meeting space, and we look at the meeting space we have here, and capacity is 116 or 126, I'm not sure. What meeting space are we providing for big groups to meet rather than come to A and B for training, speakers, ceremonies? How much space is there at that campus? And then I'm going to ask about the Farrell building. How much space for big
You're a little ahead of me.
Okay,
we'll talk
but
about
let's go
that
back.
in a minute.
Can we go back to Desert Hot Springs?
But the DHS one, with the 1,400 square foot classrooms, that will hold quite a bit of.
We also have the multipurpose room at Winslow, which is available for them, which actually holds probably about 200. So and it also has the kitchen there, so we're able to feed them. We've got the covered area right there that we could actually serve outside if we would like to for evening events. So it is, as a whole campus, which is what's wonderful about Winslow, is it's just an inviting area that has different programs together that makes it so nice to be at. It's again, I'm sorry, Sergio, did you have? Okay, so we'll jump into Farrell real quick. They asked to give just a little update on what's happening with the Farrell building. And right now what you see here is, this is the footprint of the Farrell building. And you can see the dark area, that's the parking lot. That's scheduled for all new asphalt. You can see we've got to update and bring current our parking stalls with our handicap. And also down below, and I'm sorry the pointer doesn't work here, number 3, the little orange at the bottom, we're actually putting a place to contain those darn trash bins that float around that parking lot all over and take up spaces. So down below, we're going to do a little cutout, grab those 2 trash containers, put them in there, and call it a day. So down below at the bottom of the screen, there's an orange ball number 3.
Can you kind of point to it a little bit? I can't see
Sure,
it.
I'm sorry. So down at the bottom,
Like, that's where the field is, right?
so yes, the stadium is right there. That's just the grass area near the fence that will be kind of concreted in, and a curb will be cut to allow the trash truck to service the trash cans there.
So there's a sidewalk that runs along there, right?
Yes.
That you can walk up to the field.
Yes.
Will it be where the sidewalk is, or will it be back more towards?
It's
the
back.
gate?
It's back. The sidewalk must stay where it's at. That's part of our handicap path of travel to the ticket booth there for the stadium.
So it'll be in between the ticket booth there and the little stepway that you can walk for handicap? Is that what you're saying?
So it's between the road and the ticket booth on the grass area.
Okay. And then what are you going to do with the space where you're moving it from?
They're parking spaces.
Okay.
So they really don't have a space right now with those 2 trash containers. The wind comes up and they're empty. They're moving all over. They take up parking spaces, especially which is preventive when we've got Palm Springs High football games. We need every parking space we can get, especially in that area.
Well,
So-
what is the plan with the portables that's there?
So right now, there is no plan with the portable, that's the foundation portable.
Uh-huh.
We're just working on the Farrell building.
Okay.
So right now, what you see to the right is the existing layout, and with the different hallways, walls, and everything. And to the left is the revised layout. One of the big differences is we are changing the entryway. So right now, you can see down below, again, number 6, circle where it says conference room. That's currently the main entry. We're moving the main lobby to more of the center of the building and using that only as a exit as necessary. We're increasing the size of some of the kitchenette area. We want, when you walk into that building, it to be welcoming, inviting, colorful, and that's some of the things that we are working on. You'll see in the next couple slides. To the blue area to the left, that is our special education. Many of our student services, programs, we've got people there, will be in there. The 2 green areas in the middle are the training rooms, and we've expanded the size of those. We captured some hallways, took some storage space, opened those training rooms up, put a door between them so you can now go from one training room to the other, which was kind of a little bit of a problem with the current ones. We've taken some of that, again, the storage space, and we've captured that for offices. So we've added an office in the family engagement, and then we took some of that area and made it a conference room in our special ed area. Our mental health is on the right side of the building. We've kind of expanded those areas. We'll have new furniture in there. We're trying to bring more light into that. It's a little dark. And then at the top in the light blue is our family engagement. The yellow is the welcoming open area there. The conference room, which is currently an office, will shift over to the orange cubicle there. The blue, that area is just open. The white is just furniture we're looking at. We've already talked, we think, one of the things that has prevented a lot of things being at this building is the lack of electrical outlets in the walls. And so some of the things that we're doing is we're furring out the bottom part of the walls, and we're loading it with electrical outlets, which will allow you to move your workstations and furniture wherever you want. The reception area, which is in yellow at the top, those 3 walls currently have no electrical outlets. They have 1 power pole that you get to in the middle. So that's another thing. We're adding all kinds of electrical outlets. They can put their copier back there now and keep their work in one area, opening that up. We've also opened up the child play area in the back, top blue. Currently, it had a small area with an office inside of it. Taking those walls down, opening that up. What we'll do is we've got some wallpaper, again, trying to make it engaging, bright, allow it to be the fun that it really is. Some more of this following through with our corridors. and kind of, so we moved the copier over there.
But this usually, yeah, but this is for a small group of people. And it's more. I see that it's more offices for a small kind of services. But this is not with the intention to provide a big space for the Palm Springs Unified School District families. That is a large amount of parents. Technically, for any large meeting, we have to use spaces like this, not that. We don't have any intention in the future to have one a space specific for family engagement,
So-
but for big groups.
So the family engagement and working with their past administration there, they actually felt these 2 conference rooms were sufficient because they only have meetings for up to 25 people at a time. They really can't handle a larger group for meetings.
Yeah, because with that don't mean that we will not have a bigger group in the future. Is maybe if by history we had a small group, it's because we need to do more in engage with the community. You know that is 1,000 and 1,000.
Right.
People, yeah.
So what is lovely about the campus there is the Farrell Building, which is on the Palm Springs High campus. Again, as you saw the first page, at the Desert Learning Academy, we have the 500 building. We actually built that, the 2 classrooms for, in the middle, a large meeting space, which will hold several hundred people. So they're actually able to go over and use that as well. That's something that's actually, you can book and reserve out.
So that would still be on a campus though, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
You can walk from the Farrell Building to the Desert Learning Academy.
That seems like a great distance, and if it's a parent engagement center, it would have enough space, the surgeon said, for parent large group. You should not have to relocate and get lost. There's no parking with the college coming in. That might be a challenge. So if it is an engagement center, those 2 rooms could open up to 1,400 square feet, or, you know, I'm just saying, if we want people to come, we have to build it, and we have to make it available. Rather than coming to here, that is their place. And the signage would be in Spanish and in English, I think, for it to be welcoming. And, you know, in my vision, and I'm not sure about other board, to build that space and keep action happening, that is what is needed, is that big common space. Not getting lost on the Palm Springs campus, not going near the 4,000 students that are going to be at College of the Desert.
So if I'm hearing you correctly, you'd like to see that wall in the middle be more of a portable wall to be able to
Well, that's very simple.
move in and out. So.
And then I'm not sure how much space that would be, but if you could get 50 people, like for our DLAC meetings, that would be great.
It should give you more
we will-
versatility.
I'm sorry?
It would give you more versatility if you had an air wall in the middle,
So,
and you could, you know,
I'm
fold
going to have
up.
to double check because the way this building is built, you see some of the dark and gray areas on that? That could be what's holding the roof up. So we had looked at that. I'll have to go back through our notes and look and see if that's available to have a wall that opens up or not with this building. So again, this building is our historic building from 1961 that we can change the inside, but we can't actually change the outside. So as we grow our program, remember our program is what we want to be fabulous and have a great facility for them to have it in. So I can look and let you know, get back with you on that. Absolutely.
Yeah,
Sure.
yeah.
Sure. I think that's a wonderful idea.
Yeah, and I would like to make it look a little friendly. I'm not saying that this idea with this vinyl is not friendly, but I just wanted to feel like, you know, sometimes when we're out and about, children make comments and say things, and sometimes they don't feel like the buildings are inviting. And so if we can get it a little bit more colorful, more inviting, more kid-friendly, and that's my idea as well.
We could easily take that in our design with adding things on the wall. What we found here in our hallways here that we strive for here were pictures of our students, because as they walk down the hallways, they relate to students that look like them. So we will, yes and yes, we will work on that.
Julie,
I'm not
so-
sure about the wall. I'll have to get back to you on the wall.
Julie, this building is a parent engagement center, and now it houses not only parent engagement activities, but it houses mental health services and special education services.
So,
I can see that the mental health might be for parent engagement and special ed. Are there any, maybe some of that's not going to be in that area?
Yes, thank you so much for leading into that. As we look at this here, we're talking about our Educational Services Supply Center. This was the building we bought in May of 2025, just down the road here. And you can kind of see this is the look of the building here. We've got a little bit of paint we're going to do on it. This is the layout where it's at. So some of this, as you can see, is removing our OT-PT people from the special ed into this building. So that will allow some of that area to open up for more of our mental health and our programs that are supportive there, the family engagement. So this kind of splits into two areas here. The funding on this building is 50-50, but you can see to the left, we've got our lobby that comes in. This is our expanded learning opportunity staff that's there. We have in the green in the back, these are roll-up doors, they're storage. Remember, this is just a tilt-up concrete building. We're doing a little bit of new offices inside. We've got several storage areas. We've got some conference room for staff. But bringing our OT-PT staff over here, they've got a couple offices. And then we'll also bring all their equipment that's stored in the trailer over there at the Farrell building over so they can actually see it and have it in nice storage racks. Again, this is just some of the wall. We're not staying, the wallpaper on here is just to give you an idea what we can do. Amber's going to be working with us on what she'd like to see on her side. Laura will work with us on their side. This kind of lets you see the layout with some of the flooring. Now the DSA information. Any other questions before we skip from Farrell or the
Point of information, what's the difference between a conference room and a bullpen?
So a bullpen is an open area with work furniture in it. So you would have your desks, things like that. A conference room usually just has one table in it with chairs around it. Collaboration? Yeah. Great. So now some hard stuff. Division of State Architect. Here's just want to let you know, as we work into our next phase of modernizations, these are some of the constraints that they've tasked our school buildings with now. Once we hit a 50% rehab cost of what the building's worth, they either want you to remove the building or do a full seismic on it. Many times a full seismic is more expensive than building new. These are some things we'll bring to you in the future. I just wanted to share some of the things that have increased in regulations that we have to work with. All right, the first school in our next phase of modernization that we're bringing forward is Desert Springs Middle School. This school was built in 1993. You can kind of see the layout here. It's a little bit over 20 acres, 1,900 square feet. We can see most of these buildings are built buildings. We do have some modular buildings. The 800 through 813, 801 through 813 are modulars. These are some of the things that we are seeing the site is in need of. One of the big problems we have at this school is lack of parking, lack of drop-off, bus drop-off. It is one of our few schools that only has one street in front of it. Most of our schools have 2 streets, corner, many have 3, some, like Cielo Vista, have 4. And so what that does is it gives us more availability for cars to park and enter the campus. In this case, we only have the front area here. So currently, our buses, our special ed buses, they come in through the staff parking lot to the far right, drive through the campus to the middle in front of the portables, drop off our students, and then they head out past the multipurpose rooms into the parking lot. This is not ideal. We never want our buses really to be on campus. We really didn't have much of a choice. It's been doing this for several years now. One of the things we'd like to see eventually with our modernization is that we'd like to bring a roadway through the back. You can kind of see where the ground is there. And they are improving the road behind the school. So we'd actually like to open up and go through, take some parking spaces down there on the playfield. We have a huge playfield. And bring the buses through there so that we keep our buses and students from mixing on campus. We're fortunate, a lot of the area, in fact, we're doing some things slowly on this, like we're doing the roofing this summer. We've got some rooms. So when we come back to you after we do the analysis on this, we'll have some options for you, whether we're gonna light, medium, or heavy. We don't see this as a heavy mod at all. The school, most of the buildings are in good shape. They're CMU, some stucco. So we're fortunate here that we can actually rehab the classrooms. Again, some of our biggest items that we need to do is our fire alarms and our public address systems to make sure they're current and up to date.
Julie?
Yes?
From what I've seen at that school, one of the problems is the way the buildings are built. Kids can be out of line of sight pretty easy, and there's a lot of places they can hide and do things. Are we going to address that?
You know, we can. That's absolutely, we will, whether it will be cameras or some of our corner mirrors that we do. We probably will not move buildings, but we need to look at better ways that we can keep the students within supervision area.
Right, absolutely.
All right. Next up, Mount San Jacinto High. This school was built in '95. It's one of our smaller schools. It's 1/3 the size of Desert Springs. Student-wise, we only have about 310 students enrolled there. It is more of a CMU stucco building. Again, it's not a metal modular. We don't have the issues there that we've had with our other schools. You can kind of see some of the issues that we have. Some of the big areas here is lack of feeding our students. We basically have a small snack bar. We don't have lunch seating for our students. And we really don't have much of a lunch shelter. In the back, you can kind of see up top, you can see the blue. That's a shelter, but that's actually pretty far away. Also, the gym has roll-up doors, and it's conditioned by a swamp cooler. So it doesn't have air conditioning in it, and it can get a little steamy in there. So we'd like to bring that in. We'd like to enclose some of the spaces. A few issues we'd like to fix. Again, not a heavy mod. You just need to fix some things, make sure that we can feed our students that are there. Get them a place to sit, make sure that the temperature in their gym is correct. It's used a lot. Anyway, again. Vista Del Monte Elementary School, one of our oldest existing schools that hasn't been, it was redone in '96. The construction date was 1963. And it was originally built as a 3rd through 6th grade school in 1963. So the kindergarten classrooms aren't original to it. So I didn't realize that until we did our historic assessment, which we sent and shared with you. Again, this school is our metal modulars. So one of the items that came back with our historic assessment is 3 of the buildings at the school site can be considered a potential class 1. It's one of the only, which was what they told me, buildings in the desert that keeps its original post-World War II look of elementary schools that were built in the 50s and 60s. Many of the other schools have been changed. This one has kept its unique look. So with that, we have a few areas that we have to look at on doing. But again, this site, you can see portables dabble all through it. It's cut off the sight line for supervision. The multipurpose room is extremely small.
Yes.
That full building is only the tallest 13 feet,
Yes.
which your houses are all taller than that,
Yes.
which is interesting.
No-
Food service area.
Not to mention that you have to go through the administration building, The kids have to walk through the admin office to get to where that is, and then they have to walk through there to get to the library.
Absolutely. If you've ever gone in the cafeteria, you're walking like this.
Yes.
You know, between the serving line. Thank goodness the children are smaller, you know, they're going through. But it needs some things there. At the same time, these are the 3 buildings that are considered Class 1 historic. With that being the administration, the library, which is to the far west, office and multipurpose room, we think we can repurpose this building, keep the library and admin there, build a new multipurpose room, something like that, and then we would come and rehab the rest of the buildings. It works. We could actually build a new lunch area in the new multipurpose room where we could feed our students and make sure they have a lunch shelter that they could actually sit at. Right now they have, if I can show you, they've got the little bitty ones right there that, and what's so funny, I don't know if you all remember back in March of 2020, Governor Newsom came and visited the school and walked it. Yeah, he sat at the lunch tables with some of our students. He used the restroom, the little tiny restroom in the office. He's a big man, so I know it was tight. And he walked over to our portables. So he himself said this school needs some work. I wish he had passed the bond at that time, but it didn't happen. So this school, we need to come back with you, but it is a school with high needs.
High needs.
High needs.
There's also, I think they were having an event there, and they had massive plumbing issue while people were there on site, while parents were there, and feces and all kind of things were floating out.
Yeah.
And so that's another issue.
So right behind the office area, in connecting the classroom that's to the right, that one has restrooms on it, and that's a real problem in that area. And a lot of it may be some past trees that are there, but it has high needs. High needs, I should say. It's also a campus that has a history, and it is a very beloved campus as well. We've got a community there that the community itself is historic. So we do need some things. Again, we need a fire hydrant on the campus. There's the only kind of fire hydrant is in the wall of the multipurpose room.
Yeah.
Very strange. But we have fire, life safety, notification. We must have that. We need roofs. We've got get our busing right. We have some opportunities with that of cleaning up this campus, which we'd like to start the design on and analysis, and then bring back to you some options on it. But this definitely, again, food service, health offices, non-compliant path of travels, it's just...
On and on and on and on.
It has a lot, exactly. Again, so this is where we talked about those 3 buildings that we would need to capture and keep in place, but we have some options. Doesn't stop us doing a new multipurpose room if we want. We just have to keep the outside in place. We can probably love to do a nice, probably can't touch the building, but we'll find out for sure. An opening, welcome shade structure in front. That kind of tells you where the front of the office is. I feel it's kind of like you almost have to walk behind the building to go into the office, which is difficult.
I don't know if you know this. Our enrollments there, what are we projecting them to be? Yeah.
It's stayed around between 400 and 500 there, but it depends on what ultimately we're going to end up, how the dual enrollment or dual immersion works out. Yes.
I mean, just to play devil's advocate, I mean, I know it's a beloved school, but for 340 students, how much money do we really want to spend?
And those are the things we're going to come back and weigh to you.
Yeah.
No. So that is a great question, but it also pays great homage to the fact that the school is not desirable, to be honest. It's not desirable, so a lot of times, some of the parents might not want to send their child there because the school hasn't been well maintenanced. So that could be the reason why the numbers are down as well. So we just have to take in consideration, being devil's advocate, to understand that the economics, also the equity and the fact that the school has continued to get little minor upgrades instead of the official upgrades that some of the other schools have gotten. So that can contribute to the school looking or the appeal for the students.
The other thing to remember is this is part of the next phase of bond money, so it's still a few years away. We're just looking at potential designs now, and there'll certainly be a lot more discussions around this school and the other schools as we get closer to that time frame.
And as we work with those, as we will have community meetings on the design and what the actual community thinks the needs are
Yes.
at some of these schools, so you'll be aware of when those happen.
And an FYI, John, too, in the city of Palm Springs, they are now building a lot more affordable housing projects in the city, which could also bring more children into the community to get them to our schools.
It's our farthest north school before you get to the freeway. And then over than that, you've got Bubbling Wells and Two Bench Palms, but that's miles, to get there, so.
They got a lot of projects coming through the city.
Dela Vista Charter, again, one of our schools, 1955 originally. It was modernized in 1996. And we did a historic assessment on this school as well. And the historic architect, felt that the changes to the front of the building took it out of contention as a historic phase one. Some of the changes to it, again, you can kind of see it's a charter school. We have portables. I will say the administration there has done an amazing job on taking those buildings and making it look great. Juanita has just done an amazing job, and she does it in little increments, but she just keeps moving on it, and she's just done a great job. We do have an issue here. Again, bus drop-off, some of the issues, you can see parking was added, very small play field. We have 900 students here. It's an 8-acre site. It doesn't have sufficient middle school science room, locker room, changing room, things like that. Not all charter schools do in many areas. It's just something to think about. But we do run into a problem. Our Air Land Use Commission, which came into existence in 1970. Remember, Cielo Vista came into existence in 1955. Air Land Use Commission zones everything around airports for safety. You can kind of see the little star on the big map there is where Cielo Vista is. Agua Caliente is in the blue, in the D section, the circle over the middle. This kind of highlights how close you can see that yellow is the landing strip. I mean, we're 1,000 feet as a crow flies from the landing strip with this school. So part of this is the Air Land Use Commission has zoning maps. We are in Zone C. You can see the green up there, expanded approach departure zone. Some of the things that they prohibit in Zone C, as you can see, prohibited uses. The first thing they have is children's school, daycare. So if and when we get ready to do something here, it will be a fight with the Riverside County Air Land Use Commission. They fought us some on Agua Caliente, and that's in Zone D. Had asked us to move the school at that time. It's something I feel that we need to come back and discuss more before we really start to get any design on it. We might put a little bit of money to it to have more studies done, but this will be a battle to this school if we decide to do something. Going up height-wise is going to be a little difficult. Again, part of what the Air Land Use Commission does is they look and calculate accidents. If there was an errant plane or something, mass casualties within an acre of a school zone, that's what they look at. So it's not that they're trying. Again, we fought them twice. We fought them on Agua Caliente, and we fought them on this building. We've won twice. This will be a battle for us to be allowed to do anything at the school, removing portables and building buildings, enlarging the NPR. So we can come back and discuss this further about ideas on it and thoughts. I think as a separate, maybe discussion, kind of take it out of that, talk about this, but I do want to let you know we do have a agency that will fight us on what we want to do at this school.
Julie, if at Cielo Vista, they move the early childhood building and possibly put something, classrooms, cafeteria, expanded that, would they be in disagreement with that, the Airport Commission?
Probably.
Anything you do?
So you can see the Zone Z, where, see, you can see the star, that little square is Cielo
Yes.
Vista, and it goes farther out. We can do onesie, twosie things there, which is what we've been doing, because we file notice of exemptions. But the minute we do anything larger with a CEQA is when they contact us. So again, it's a discussion where we want to go with this. Do we want to keep the school here? Do we want to blah, blah, blah? So there's some options. It's just going to be, I didn't want you to think we could just start designing, start moving some portables and take them out and do some buildings. This will be a little bit of work.
Yes, curious. About this building or this location, we are not. Oh. Yeah, about this building, I know that we is not education spaces, is only occasional,
I was
So
just about that.
but we have children here sometime.
We do. And so they were less concerned because we're actually in where we're at goes into Zone D, which we have less people. It's about the number of people per acre. And I think they want loading of 100 people, no more than 100 people per acre, which makes schools very difficult, right? Here, we don't have as many people combined in a small space. Also, our building is a tilt-up concrete, which is one of the reasons we chose this building. It would take substantial. We have in the back, the way that this is set up and the way the road's set up, those are emergency landing strips if something happened. We don't quite have the same option at Cielo Vista. They do have a road in front, but again, that's off to the side as opposed to the way the landing strip runs. So it will be discussion and more work on that one. So with that, I will come to the end of this, and thank you so much. All great questions and stuff. We as administration, we're recommending that we start some design work on these. We broke it out into 5. If we want to hold on Cielo Vista, we can do that to more further discussions, just because we have a lot of work to do on it. So the 4 altogether would be 18 million. That's what I'm looking for as max. If you want to hold, it doesn't mean we're going to spend all that right now. It will take several years.
But do we feel that the 5 million would be enough?
So that's just for the design and all the analysis and investigation that we have to do. I don't think we'll spend all of that on design, but I wanted to make sure that we were healthy with it, that I could do.
You don't want to
every
keep coming back?
Yes.
I got you.
I know you
Yes.
don't appreciate me coming
Yes,
back and asking for
you'd
more.
rather set it far out
Right.
and then work your way back instead of
Right.
setting it too far and then have to push it further.
Exactly. So we do have some funds, 18 million that we received from OPSC a couple weeks ago. We could use those funds right now, and then farther out, we'll have to sell a tranche in our new bond, which was passed in November 24 that we've not sold a tranche on yet. And maybe how we want to do that, pay that back. But some of these we could get started, and we'll wait for that tranche to sell and then use those bond funds to kind of reimburse the OPSC funds. So any questions, any thoughts?
I just kind of want to update you back to Della Lindley. I went to the community meeting on Thursday night, and I have the notes from the January 29th meeting. And I'm not sure if you've heard about the Palm Creek Ranch development in Thousand Palms. It's coming, and it's being approved as we speak. It's 371 to 512 units on the corner of my street at Ramon and Desert Moon. There's going to be 1,200 to 1,600 square foot buildings, apartments, condos, houses. This may be single-family homes. It may be 55. There's a lot of undesignated answers, But the thing about this Palm Creek, these minutes say that at Palm Creek, they will finance a $30,000 down payment for school teachers, firemen, police officers, first responders. But buyers will have to secure their own funding. So this is like an awesome idea, and it's something to watch, and I have the notes for you.
You know what? I would love to see your notes. I wasn't at the meeting. I've received some notice from the county on it,
Yeah.
but I'd love to see your notes and
They're
hear your
not
thoughts
mine,
in
they're
it.
the county.
But yeah, thank you on that. That whole area, once they get I think they've been waiting with IID to get the new grid out there. Electricity's been such an issue. We're going to start seeing all these developments start to pop. I do think they still need to run sewer line, but that will happen.
The thing that was mentioned in the reporter's notes from the board was that this is not low income, and the buildings look to be $400,000 to $500,000 each.
Okay, wow. All right,
Yes,
well,
so you can have my notes.
maybe more than 30,000 is needed on that.
Yeah, well, that's something to help.
But that's wonderful. So we know that that's going to grow out there. We've been waiting. We've seen a lot of things come through. It's one of those that we keep watching, which comes back to our conversation about Della Lindley has some space, but we also have our Palm Desert site with our K-8. And we have got a lot of need over there in Palm Desert. We have people that are being bused right now to Rancho Mirage Elementary and a few other. We do have many that transfer out into Desert Sands. So it's probably a conversation we need to have, thinking about that K-8 site in the next 6 months or so. And again, maybe we tie that in with some other things that we're talking about with Cielo Vista even.
Sorry, about the Cielo Vista, the design and scoping, the 5 million, that one include the possibility to recommend relocation to find another location for that school. It's part of the design.
Air Land Use Commission, yes, would recommend relocation. Again, it's.
I think what he's asking is, are we considering putting Cielo Vista in a different location?
Different location, yeah. It include
I don't know what other land we actually have other than the one in Palm Desert, and then there's land up in Desert Hot Springs, but we don't have land in this particular area for that, but there's always can be those discussions.
Actually, Jeff, we do. We have our 8.5 acres on Baristo,
Oh, okay, that's true.
right, that we're leasing at the
Is that
College of the
farther
Desert.
out from the airport?
It's far enough away from the airport.
Okay.
Obviously, COD's building, so we know we're in good shape, which is good. Never mind, I won't even start on how COD got that approval. But we do have our 8 acres there on Baristo that we can have discussions on.
All right.
Whether it's Baristo site, whether it's Palm Desert site, it's a charter. We have some options with it if we want to do that. But again, that's probably a whole study session on itself, discussion of what we want to see, where to go with that.
Okay, thank you.
Board Member Irvin mentioned taking Rancho Mirage, perhaps, the high school, and building that into a TK-14 school site. Is there any exploration into helping the community cross the bridge and be right there, all grade levels, maybe even TK-16, and making that an educational community similar to the one out in Thermal?
Well, I think it's a marvelous idea, and we have land. We have 20 acres north of the high school that we own, and then we have the 80 acres across the street. Those are all wonderful sites, and what's great about it is we already spent the money on the road, sewer, water, it's all there. So that's, again, a discussion that we can have, that we can spend just one discussion, a whole study session on and look at. But it's a wonderful idea. We've thrown around a couple things on a K-8 on the 20 acres behind the school. It really doesn't quite fit because of the parking. The high school has such needs on it, which is why when we looked at it, it seemed better for it to go across the street, because we have the 80 acres there and we would only need 40 at the most.
And I would like for us to really consider our Cielo Vista community there. They're really involved. They're excited to have a school that's kind of like the flagship. They take pride in Cielo Vista. It means a lot to them. So moving that school, taking it from that community, putting it to Rancho Mirage could kind of make the community feel, you know, a little bit sad. A lot of the community there is the underserved, low income. That community there, the Demuth Park area, they have a lot of Asians there, and a lot of the old tradition things that came to Palm Springs was right there in that community. And so a lot of their children go to school there. So I just want us to really consider that as well.
I agree that both our Vista Del Monte and our Cielo Vista schools are beloved where they are, and generations have gone there. And so everyone has a different view of what a beautiful school is. So I bet I could ask 200 parents at Cielo Vista, and they would say, I love this school. I think it looks great.
Yeah.
You know, we know there are a few things that need to happen. We need fire alarms, we need PA systems, we need some things that wouldn't cause an issue with the air land use. It's just when we start building, just buildings. So anyway, it's again, farther discussions, and maybe, again, as you say, maybe Cielo Vista, we just keep fixing it up as it is, work on those issues, and then we look to the east there, either the 80 acres or Palm Desert, and look at what we want to do there with the growth we know we're coming. And both those schools could either be a magnet school, a magnet school of some type, which would, again, attract our people back that we may be losing to Palm Desert.
Yep, that would be an interesting concept, because I believe at the last meeting, Jeff, I think we had our study session on the middle school. So, I mean, I think with the 8 acres that we have there, right close by Palm Springs as well, could be another option as well to consider, of having a new school instead of being inside of the older Palm Springs high school, the Palm Springs High School that we're thinking about going into. I think having a new school with that idea of the concept that you have would be something that would be great too for Palm Springs.
With that, I'm sorry, go ahead, Karen.
Okay. Is any other comments, discussion? So at this point, do we recommend that the staff moves ahead with the 4 staff recommendations on the last page of 26? Design and scope of Desert Springs Middle School modernization, design and scope of Mount San Jacinto modernization, and the design and scoping for Vista Del Monte, and the design and scoping for Cielo Vista, for about $18 million for all of them. Everybody support it?
Yeah.
Okay. We're
Thank
in
you.
support.
You will see this come back to you on April 14th as a board item for your approval at that time, for our auditors who love when we do that. They put it down, we put what the funding is on that. That's
Okay.
all right.
Thank you very much, Julie.
So this wasn't an actual vote?
Yes,
This
it
is-
was. I
oh,
could
okay.
not, I mean, again,
Direction.
I needed your consensus today and vote to be able to put that on the board agenda.
So it's kind of like a direction? Okay,
Yes.
all right.
Okay.
All right, thank you very much.
The auditors just
Thank you.
prefer a formal vote. That's why we always bring what we have in the study session back, just as a summary of what we've all agreed on, and then an actual formal vote.
And I want to tell Julie as well, the presentations are getting really great. Thank you for the work that you're putting in and the time that you're getting us this information. It's really important, and it does us well to see what you're doing, and I appreciate it.
Thank you again. We'll now commence to close session.